What's going on, everybody? Been a while since I made a video. Figured I had a little bit of time today. I thought I'd shoot one and see what you guys think about my little Datsun car here. It's an Alpine White Datsun 210, 1980. Yeah, and I've been working on it for, I don't know, about a year or so now. Just trying to, well, kind of almost build a race car out of it. I don't know whether it'll see much racing or not, but we'll see how that works out. But as of right now, I've gotten pretty far on it. I haven't made any videos on it or nothing because, I don't know, it's just kind of a pain to shoot videos, and they'd be pretty boring to me trying to figure out how to mount things and, you know, that kind of stuff probably. So, wouldn't be very exciting to watch, but so I'll kind of start with what you can't see on the car no matter what. So I have a 1979 to 1985 Toyota four-wheel drive rear axle underneath of it that has been narrowed to the width of the 210. So it has the big 30 spline axle shafts in it and the dropout, you know, 8-inch third member, and I can get parts for it wherever I want. I re-drilled the flanges to fit the 4.5-inch Datsun bolt pattern, so all my wheels are all the same and all that kind of stuff. And you know, I needed a rear axle in the back of this car that was going to hold up, and there's just not a whole lot of options for these little cars. And you know, when they're a solid axle car like this. So, and I've done some Toyota stuff before in the past, and you know, I know the four-wheel drive guys love those axles, and you know, they're just tough, man. They're just tough as all hell. You can't hardly break one, and I figured with this small a tire on here, and pretty much no matter what horsepower I put to it, it's going to be fine. So that's the way I looked at it. And I like the parts that you can, you know, I like the fact that you can get whatever you want for them, you know, limited slips, lockers. Toyota even offers an electric locker that you can put in these housings, and gear ratios, and you know, aftermarket axle shafts if I want them. You know, just everything's available for them. So you know, the Datsun rear ends, they're small, and I mean, I don't even think you can get a ring and pinion for those things anymore. So yeah, it's, you know, you got to update them. It's just, that's the one way to fly. And so, anyways, this is, I know it's kind of a mess right now, so I've been working on it. You know, it's, the hood's on the roof, and, you know, all kinds of garbage going on here, but it's a project car. What are you going to do? You know, I don't need to daily drive this thing. I can just work on it at my leisure, which is the best way to build any car. That way you don't get in a hurry for things. You got time to plan it out and think about it, and you know, all that kind of stuff. So we'll kind of take a trip around it here, and I'll kind of show you what's going on. So the car is in really good shape. I mean, obviously, you know, the emblem's kind of falling off of it there. It's all kind of dry rotted, but the body's real straight on it. It is an Alpine White car, factory paint on it. And I have some powder-coated inky 15x7 92s on it. Those are actually 0 offset in the rear and plus 15 in the front. So it's kind of weird how the front pokes out, but that's okay. It gives me a little bit more room. I'll probably put a drag radial or something on the back of it. But I put those seats in it. Those are out of like a GTS Corolla, I think, or something. Been working on some on the inside of it. It's all stock on the inside. Pretty clean little car. See if I can get some light in there for you guys. The seats are kind of dirty right now, and I've been working on trying to figure out some kind of console for it. But the dash is all, you know, uncracked in it. It's all in really good shape. It's got that typical gross yellow blue color thing going on, all factory carpet in it. Like I said, really clean car. The back seat's like in perfect shape. full vinyl. Somebody cut holes for speakers in there, which I wasn't too thrilled about, but that's okay. The glass is all in good shape, everything else. Clean car, so a little bit of rust here and there, you know, typical dots and stuff. But this is the motor that I put in it. So obviously any Nissan guys obviously know what this is right off the bat. This is a KA24DET. T stands for turbo now. And I bought this motor for like $400, and it had a spun rod bearing in it. So right off the bat I knew I couldn't use it. Well, at least I couldn't use the crank because it was shot. So I found another crank for it that was actually already ground 10 under, and I mic'd it, and I mean it was brand new. I don't think it hadn't even been ran. So I ended up using that crank for it. And I wasn't going to turbo it at first, and I was kind of debating on it, and then, you know, because I know that they have problems with the cast pistons and boost and, you know, blowing up and all that kind of stuff. And I really want to just put the motor in and just drive it, just to have some fun with it. But I started thinking about it, you know, and then I was like, man, if I don't do it now, I'm never going to do it. It's just not going to happen. It's going to be fun, and I'm not going to want to tear it apart again, and I just know how I work. So I found a set of forged pistons and all that stuff for it, so I bought all that good stuff and head studs and the whole works to boost this thing. So it's all set up for boost. I don't know how much boost you can put to these, but I'm going to run it at about 10 psi and run with it there. I have a Mega Squirt plug and play for the 240SX that I'm going to use to run this thing, and I've never done it before. We're going to see how it works out. I'm hoping to get some dyno time with it, you know, once I get it up and running and ready to go. So we'll see how that goes in the future. But, you know, obviously putting this motor in a little car can pose some problems. I mean, it's not the biggest motor in the world, but it's big for this car. So, and especially with a turbo on it, you just got no room at all to do anything. So I got the biggest radiator I could fit in front of it, which is a Megan Racing. This is a Corolla AE 86 radiator. I mean, it fits real good in there. I made the mounts for it, and it drops right in there. I'll have two 9-inch Spall fans on it. And obviously it's a 200SX front cross member and rubber motor mounts on the stock KA240 engine, the steel engine mounts. So that bolted in pretty good. I slotted the mounts, kind of moved them around so I could push the motor back as far as I could. So I mean, it's, you know, it's pretty close to the back firewall, as close as I wanted to get it, you know. So that's where it stays. That's where it's going to be. That way I could have some room, because I mean, there's not a whole lot of room going on in there. Hopefully you guys can see that. But when I move the alternator to the passenger side, or to the driver's side, I mean, just to kind of clean up that area over there where all the piping and everything goes, and it's just a mess over there usually, and I always hated it. And this is a 280ZX turbo. I don't know what the specs are on it. I know it's a T3 turbo. I think they're called a Super 60, but I'm not 100% sure on that. And I got a 3-inch exhaust pipe. It's going to go all the way out as far as I can run it out the back. And it's all, you know, mandrel bent, and then I kind of just pie cut the rest of it because it's pretty straight. And external wastegate, tail, however you pronounce it, wastegate. And what else? Oh, 550cc injectors. I don't know how to pronounce those. I can't remember what they're called. I always call them douche works. I don't know how to pronounce it. But those are 550s over there. I painted the fuel rail, you know, stock fuel rail. The O2, or not O2, but the sensor, because I'm not going to run a air meter on this. It's just going to run off a map sensor. So that's for the air intake sensor. And my catch can slash radiator coolant can that I made to fit in this car, so it kind of looks somewhat to the car, so it kind of covers up where the old battery was and all that stuff. But you know, move the brake lines up above, and I have a heat shield for the turbo over here, and obviously, you know, there's some parts on top of the car that aren't there. All the white is powder coated, and the gray on the turbo. Oh, the turbo itself is actually ceramic coated, and the manifold, that part there is powder coated, the same color as the intake. It's like a steel gray, same color as my wheels. You know, the wheels are the same color. So this car has 510 front struts on it that are shortened to accept the Volkswagen Rabbit inserts, and it has 4-piston Wilwood brakes on the front with a 2-piece rotor. And the rear, I set it up for a 240SX, just stock rear disc brakes, because I wanted the e-brake feature on it, which is posing to be quite the problem, but we'll figure it out. Let's see, yeah, white piping, Greddy blow-off valve, real Greddy blow-off valve, by the way, and a real tail wastegate, none of that fake shit. What else? That's about it. Oh, I'm using the truck KA trans, just because I don't know if you can notice or not, but that e-brake lever, the KA truck tranny is actually like 9 inches shorter than the 240SX trans, and it's just basically the same transmission. So that helped out tremendously, so my shifter isn't clean back into where the e-brake is. And so that makes it nice. So it feels pretty close to stock. It's, you know, it's only a couple inches back further than stock, really. So there's no big deal. It fit in there real nice. But that's about it, guys. I got some gauges and stuff I'm going to mount. I'm working on the center console, aluminum center console. That's kind of the start of it there. I do some more bead rolling and stuff like that on there, and you know, a couple things like that. So, but it's getting closer by the day every time I work on it. It's just one of those things. I'm not in a big rush to get it running. You know, I know I'll have to iron out a lot of bugs out of this thing to get it to work right, and you know, take your time and do it right. That's all I can say. So, have a good one, guys, and I'll try to cut some more video here shortly. Later.